This episode of Sea is the New Land was produced for Port City Futures.
In June 2020, citizens of Piraeus, a port city near Athens, marched loudly towards its maritime edge. Already the largest port in Greece, Piraeus is now scheduled for expansion. These people got together to reject it. In 2016, following austerity policies, the port was sold to the corporation COSCO. It is now planned to be an important transit hub between Asia and Europe, one more node along the new maritime Silk Road. The expansion of the port in such a densely populated area is creating multiple conflicts.
We are protesting against of the pollution, atmosphere pollution, pollution of the sea, of the noise, visual pollution, because we see all the time cruise ships and ships.
Dimitra Vini is a pediatrician and expert in public health.
We are protesting about our environment, about our sea, about our town, about our health and our life in our city. Especially, we are protesting against a new port. It's a very big port to construct 6 positions for new cruise ships, new generation cruise ships. And this port is constructed in our coast, not in the harbor, in the port that there is, but in a new place. So this is the biggest problem of us, that we don't want another harbor in our town.
Dimitra is also a local councillor for Piraiki Peninsula, representing the group Ochi Limani Stin Piraiki, or No Harbour in Piraiki Coast. This is the largest municipality of the 4 that surround the port, with 55,000 inhabitants.
COSCO's philosophy is expansion. She was now COSCO to expand also in the other part of the sea. In this moment, COSCO has in all the Piraeus town, all the municipalities of Piraeus, has the 55% of the cost, of all the cost of Piraeus. And COSCO wants to take more part of this cost. COSCO asks more part in Piraiki, in our beach. This beach is the only part that we have to relax, to drink a coffee, to swim, to walk. We don't have parks in Piraeus, we don't have trees in Piraeus. The percentage of green is 0.45 square meters per person. This part of the coast that COSCO wants to expand is very beautiful, is protected because it's picturesque, there are monuments there, and it's crazy to construct a port in this beautiful part and to destroy this. We have this moment 11 sites for cruise ships. Every summer we have every day 7 or 8 cruise ships here in the town, near our houses. Our schools is near, it's 100 meters from the elementary school. All of these terminals for cruise ships will provoke a very big traffic problem, because every day 120 touristic buses will across all the city to Acropolis and from Acropolis and again to Acropolis. This moment we have a very big problem, and imagine when we have a lot of tourists, we cannot live here, okay? This moment we are the most pollutant harbor in Europe.
Many people in Piraiki, and also in Athens, consider the new cruise ship terminal unnecessary. As well as concerns about increased pollution, they fear losing their only real public space, the coast. This is only one of several spatial conflicts triggered by the new port project.
Costco wants to take our sea and our coast. We need this coast. We need this coast. It's our big problem, but there are a lot of protestings in the other municipalities of Piraeus, in Salamina about the shipyard, in the ancient place of battle, and in Drapetsona the protests are against the logistic. And the other is Perama, is another municipality here in the port, because the shipyards, they don't want to shipyard. All the protests of residents are against the place that Costco wants to take from us, our sea and our coast. We speak about the residents. When we speak about the workers, they have very big problems with Costco because they make a contract for 1 day and they don't have security. When they have accidents, they go to hospital with private cars. Yes, it's a harbor like Dubai or like Singapore.
The case of Piraeus is one of many ongoing citizen contestations against port expansions. At the port of Suape, Brazil, a civic movement is fighting against evictions and community displacements caused by the expansion of a shipyard to hold giant tankers. In Valencia, Spain, citizens are fighting against the expansion of the port and port-related activity on a site of particular ecological value. The local population of Lamu, a UNESCO heritage site in Kenya, is resisting the construction of a deep-water port that would destroy the country's tallest living town. The list goes on. Why are there so many port conflicts? And why are they happening now?
Ports are noisy, ports are dirty, ports do not exist. We sacrifice a piece of seaside where we could go swimming in order to create economic activities. By default, the port creates problems. Even if we did not have growth, we would still have to sacrifice a part of the land for activities that would really distract our daily lives somehow.
Thanos Palis is a professor of port economics and policy at the University of the Aegean, Greece, and co-director of port economics. He regularly contributes to the work of governments and international organizations shaping the port sector.
Trade goes bigger, so ports want to expand and to serve the activities, and that means that there is a social license to operate, and this is what is challenged, and that's my approach. And things go a bit worse or a lot worse because you also have an industry that is increasingly governed by huge multinational corporations. You have terminal operators that are really multinational operators and corporations. If you have Piraeus and then you have the public sector, then you feel that, okay, it's me and the state, and they have the power, okay, they have the power, with brackets, with no brackets, to change the state, because it's my state, it's my Greek government, it's my Greek society, it's my Greek town hall, etc., my local town hall. But now it's very distant. People do not deal with the state. They deal with someone who is somewhere in, I don't know, in Copenhagen, somebody in Hong Kong. Then you start feeling this distance from what is happening anyway.
While the port has always been both good and bad for its surroundings, what has changed is the ubiquity and frequency of protests against ports being built or expanded. This reflects new, more complex relationships between an increasingly corporative megaport infrastructure and its local context. These relationships are becoming more conflictive.
This liberalization process started in the 90s and 2000s. So by the mid-2000s, even before the crisis, it was obvious that this movement to open the market to many privates has ended to limit the market to the few big ones. And then, following the consolidation at the shipping industry, you go to the ports and you have less than 10 operators. And now with the emphasis of the Chinese to this Belt and Road initiative, you even have more concentration. And more concentration is expected because the Chinese go bigger. I mean, Costco was 10th, now it's going to the top really speedily. Yes, we have this concentration, and this is a problem. And this is a problem which will not be resolved. That's my feeling. We have ended up in a few companies that can really control the market, for good or for bad, and that's true. So that re-emphasizes the importance of port authorities. We still need port authorities. Now they are even more important than they were in the past, because you cannot be the operator as a public sector, but you can still be the regulator. So the regulation is too important, and that's the only reaction that we have, because this trend will continue if there's not a breakthrough moment. So it's not a Greek problem. It's not only a Costco problem. It could be merged.
As global logistics develop within a non-regulated financial market, shipping corporations become more and more powerful in deciding on the spaces and rhythms of port life. This facilitates expansionistic and predatory behaviors towards the port's surrounding, particularly when the port authority is privatized.
What Costco did is they turned a project to a mega project, aiming to control the whole city, because their plan was to add all the hotels, the malls, etc. So they transformed again a port project to a city project. That, for me, that is one of the major problems. I need the expansion, but then I have the capacity, because of a wrong type of privatization, to control everything. And what I do, I change the project from A to B without any public control. And then at the implementation phase, with the environmental dimension, I go as I like, because I'm powerful and I am the owner and I go as I like.
Citizens of Piraeus are bringing Costco to court over its lacking environmental impact assessment. Georgios Balias is one of 3 lawyers working on the case.
I have a case of Council of State for the Port of Piraeus, because there is a master plan. It is a development plan of Piraeus port. The main problem is that the master plan has been signed without conducting an environmental impact assessment, especially strategic environmental impact assessment. It's unlawful the fact that there is not a strategic environmental assessment, because the European legislation obliges the authorities to conduct an environmental and strategic environmental impact assessment, because the activities in the port provoke many problems environmental. In my view, the most important point of the legislation is the participation of public. I think that the great infrastructures like ports, like airports, must be public, because they are public goods. Without that, there is not a normal life. I think that this infrastructure must be public without the market. But this is a political option.
It isn't clear if the privatization process led to the plan being approved without an environmental assessment. What is clear is the need for a better culture of transparency and consultation. Here in Piraeus, Local communities are keen to participate in the decisions that affect their space and daily life. Differing groups are uniting, despite their varied demographic and political alliances.
We are a movement that we want in our movement everyone. We don't interest if it's one votes in conservative and other in communist.
Over the last 3 years, they have built up pressure with events, marches, and an awareness campaign.
We were very constant in these places, public, like cafe, like in the sea, everywhere. And we organized manifestations. So a lot of people started to believe that it's possible something like this. And we went to the elections. And we have a very good proportion of votes. So we elected the two persons, me and another one. So after we make more in manifestations, we went a lot of times to meet a shipping minister, the environmental minister, and we went in Congress, many activities to inform. It was very difficult to inform. Why? Because no one a newspaper, no one television, no one radio wanted to tell anything about this. I am very glad because of this resistance. I am very glad because people can resist. Look, I believe that I expect something very good from this because we discuss now with a lot of people from the other communities or from the other municipalities, and I expect that very soon we will have a common voice.
Global logistics strongly determine a port city's geography, its dynamics producing space inside and outside the port itself. But resistance also produces space through new social formations. Community perspectives on port expansion, their subversive capacity for imagining alternatives, and their organization around it are fundamental tools for building a critical spatial sensibility, much needed for a multiscalar thinking of port cities.